Okay, let's go over homework 3.2, number 8. Right. So first thing is that let's say step 1, we have to find the derivative of this function. So I'm gonna first rewrite this function here. So g of x is equal to, right? So 8 is just a constant out here, right? And so we have 1 is 1, right? But 1 over x, we can rewrite it as x to the negative 1. 1 over x squared as, we can write it as x to the negative 2, right? Then we can take the derivative, right? So derivative is going to be g prime of x is equal to, right? 8 is a constant multiple, so put it outside, right? Derivative 1 is 0. Derivative of x to the negative 1 is negative x to the negative 2. And derivative of x to the negative 2 would be negative 2 x to the negative 3, right? Since I has both negative signs, so I'll pull out the negative sign, so that's going to be negative 8, right? Then you have x to the negative 2 is 1 over x squared, and so let's see, plus 2 is on top, and x cubed on the bottom, right? Then I'm going to go ahead and combine this so that it's a little easier to see. So it's going to be negative 8. And so common denominator would be x cubed on the bottom. So you have to multiply top and bottom by x to get x and plus 2. Right? So so derivative is just negative 8 and x plus 2 over x cubed. Right? So that's the derivative. Then we can find the critical numbers. Alright, so it said we have to find the critical numbers and also point of discontinuity. Alright, so first we set it equal to 0. And we see that we just have to make sure that x plus 2, so numerator, and you can ignore the negative 8 because you can divide through by negative 8. So set that equal to 0, and that will give you x equals negative 2. Right? So negative 2 is a critical number. So this is a critical number. All right. But this function is undefined when x equals 0 because there's x on the bottom. So 0 is the point of discontinuity. So 0 should be there too. All right. So it's actually there. So a critical number is negative 2 and 0. So we just have to find these values. All right. So we plug in negative 4. So g of negative 4 would be, all right, so it's 8 times 1 plus, actually negative 4 minus 1 over 4, right? Then 4 squared, so it's in 1 plus 1 over 16, right? So this is going to be, I'm going to just go ahead and multiply. So you see that 8, actually I'm going to just simplify 8 times, all right, common denominator would be 16. So it's going to be 16 plus 4 plus 1, all right? So you can see that, so this is going to be 8 and 16. They cancel out. Oh, actually, sorry, this is 8. 16 minus 4, right? So that since it's a negative sign there, right? So it's 2. So this is going to be equal to 12 plus 1, so 13 over 2. So 13 over 2 is 6.5, right? So this is 6.5, right? And if you plug in negative 2, so find g of negative 2, it's going to be 8 times 1 minus 1/2 plus 1/4, right? So that's going to be 8, right? So 1 minus 1/2 is 1/2 plus 1/4 would be, so 1/2 is 2/4 plus 1/4, so 3/4. So 8 and 4 cancel out, 2 left over. 2 times 3 is 6, right? So this is going to be 6 right there, right? And then, so when x equals 0, the function is undefined. So you have undefined, right? Then when x equals 5, so you just have to plug in. So let's say 5. So you're going to have 8 times quantity 1 plus 1 over 5 plus 1 over 25. Right, so that's going to be 8. Right, so that's the common denominator would be 25. So it's going to be 1 is 25 over 25. 1/5 is 5 over 25, and 1. Right, so that's going to be 8 times 31 over 25. Right, so that's equal to alright, so 248 over 25. Right, so I'm going to cheat a little bit. So 248 divided by 25, right, 9.92. Right, so that was 9.92. Right, so this is equal to 9.92. All right, then we have to make a little bit more observation to know which is max and which is min. So let's do there's not much room, so I'll probably do it right here. All right, so critical numbers is -2. So put -2 here. And it's going to start from -4, so it's going to start from -4, and undefined at 0, so maybe here, and it's going to go up to 5, so maybe I'll put the 5 here. Right, then if you pay attention to the sign, so this is the derivative, so let's look at the sign here. So we can try -3, -3, so that's negative, negative, and negative, so it's going to be negative here. Right, between -2 and 0, so I'll try -1. So if you put -1 here, that's going to be positive, that's going to be negative, that's going to be negative, so it's going to be positive here. Right, between 0 and 5, we can try 1, so that's positive, that's positive, that's negative, so it's going to be negative there. Right, then so you can see that the graph is going to decrease here and increase here, but we know that when x equals 0, this guy actually blows up, so this guy actually shoots up to positive infinity, and here decreasing, so it's decreasing here, and this is going to shoot up to positive infinity as well. All right, so that's basic shape. Right, then you can see that let's see, the highest, the maximum doesn't exist, right? Then you can see that the lowest point is probably here or a 5, but at 5 it's 9.92, which is bigger than 6. You can see that this is going to be the minimum, and of course this is undefined, so this is going to be neither, and this is going to be neither, and this is going to be neither, right? So absolute maximum does not exist because it shoots up to positive infinity, so it does not exist, right? But the absolute minimum happens right here because it's moving down and moving up here, so right here. So it's going to be -2, comma, +6. Right? That's it. I hope that this was clear.